Hey guys, welcome back for another LitReview where I dumb down scientific journal articles to my level. Before I get started, I don't generally wear hats, but today I woke up and my hair went crazy, so I'm just wearing this temporarily. I'm not really a hat person, so don't confuse yourself. So today, the paper that we'll be talking about is our continuation of the biomechanics of the first ray. It is part 3. It is titled The Consequences of Lapidus Arthrodesis and Peroneus Longus Function, a Three-Dimensional Kinematic Analysis in the Cadaver Model. By now, you should be able to understand kind of the title. The new word of the day, I suppose, in this paper is the Lapidus Arthrodesis. It's describing basically a fusion of a bone or taking away a joint in a certain fusing the bone so that it's getting rid of the joint that is available in that part of the bone. So this is quite similar to the first paper that we talked about, the first part of this biomechanics of first ray, where they saw the function of Peroneus longus. Now, as a review, Peroneus longus originates from the lateral side of the fibula, comes down, passes through 3 bony prominences, and then attaches to the lateral side of the first metatarsal and medial cuneiform. The job, based on the first part of the paper, was that it plantarflexes and everses the foot, okay, because it is attachment of the lateral part. And also it stabilizes the middle column. Now what they did was they did the same experiment. They put the sensors in the exact same place, the medial cuneiform, first metatarsal, navicular, and talus, but instead they fused some joints and saw if the function of Peroneus longus stayed the same. So that there's 2 joints that they fused, essentially, one at a time. They didn't do the experiment both joints and then tested it. They fused one joint and then activated the Peroneus longus, and then they fused the second joint and then they activated Peroneus longus. And if there was any difference in the function of Peroneus longus, that's what they wanted to see. So the first joint they fused was first metatarsal medial cuneiform joint, and paper describes that those joints are kind of conventionally known as it doesn't really do much in the foot. So they did that, and then they activated the Peroneus longus, and then they also fused medial cuneiform and the intermediate cuneiform, the first and the second cuneiform together, and they also activated the Peroneus longus. So they wanted to see if there's a difference in any of the bones that we talked about where the sensors are placed, the first metatarsal, medial cuneiform, navicular, and talus. And what they found out was only when they fused the first metatarsal and medial cuneiform, there was only significant eversion and abduction on the medial cuneiform. There was obviously eversion and plantarflexion still along all the bones where the sensors are placed, but there was just not significant changes to it. So what that means is that the Peroneus longus just activates a little bit more strongly on the medial cuneiform when there is a fusion between the first metatarsal and medial cuneiform. And then the paper talks about how the way it's doing that is basically by taking away the joint, it takes away the loss. The way I understand it is that whenever there's a joint, the energy is somewhat lost between those 2 joints because there's obviously contact, compression, and maybe even a friction. This is my own interpretation. And by fusing it, they lose that slack and basically becomes one. So instead of, if you look at the medial column, you have the first metatarsal, medial cuneiform, navicular, and talus. There's 4 bones. If you fuse 2 bones together, you essentially have 3 bones and reduce the slack that exists between each bone. And it essentially kind of saves energy and makes it a little bit more rigid, and it makes the Peroneus longus be a little bit more efficient, is what they're saying. So a lot of the treatments today for bunion includes Lapidus, where they fuse first metatarsal and medial cuneiform, and that's based on basically what this paper is telling you, that the Peroneus longus could work a little bit better with it. So this paper was a little bit short. Like I said, it's quite similar to the first part of the paper, the first part of the biomechanics of first ray. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to tune back for the part 4 of this biomechanics of the first ray. And thanks for watching.